You found the perfect sample for your new song. It fits the beat, changes the energy of the track, and might even be the part that people remember most. There's just one problem. You don't own it. Before you upload that song to Spotify, release a music video, or start promoting it, you may need permission from the people who do own it. That process is called sample clearance, and in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how it works. Before we begin, this video is for educational purposes and isn't legal advice. Copyright can get complicated, so if you're dealing with a major release or a valuable sample, it may be worth speaking with an entertainment attorney. So what does it mean to actually clear a sample? Clearing a sample means getting the permission to use part of an existing song or recording in your own music. One of the most important things to understand is that a recorded song generally involves two separate copyrights. The first is the copyright for the composition. That covers the song itself, including the melody and the lyrics. These rights are usually controlled by the songwriter, a music publisher, or both. The second is the copyright for the master recording. That covers the specific recorded version that you sampled. The master may be owned by the artist, a record label, or another company. If you're directly sampling an existing recording, you will usually need permission from both sides. Getting permission from the songwriter doesn't necessarily give you permission to use the actual recording, and getting permission from the record label doesn't necessarily clear the composition. You generally need to clear both. Your first step is figuring out who owns those rights. To find the owners of the composition, you can search the public databases provided by performance right organizations like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, or SOCAN. Search for the original song, and you should be able to find information about the songwriters and publishers connected to it. If a publisher is listed, that publisher will probably be one of the main companies that you need to contact. Then, you need to identify the owner of the master recording. Start by checking the song's official credits on streaming services, physical album notes, the artist's website, or a reputable music credit database. If the song was released by a record label, the label may own or control the master, but don't automatically assume that the artist or original label still owns it. Music catalogs are bought and sold all the time, and older recordings may now be controlled by another company or an estate. Once you identify the likely owners, contact them or their representatives with a sample clearance request. Be as specific as possible. Tell them which song you want to sample, exactly what part you're using, how long the sample is, and how it appears in your new song. You should also explain whether you looped it, chopped it, pitched it, reversed it, or made any other changes. You'll also want to tell them how you plan to release the song and when you hope to release it. If possible, provide a private link so they can hear exactly how the sample is being used. Remember, you may be contacting a publisher on one side and a record label on the other. Both parties need information to make a decision. If the rights holders are open to the request, the next step is negotiating the terms. They may ask for an upfront payment, a percentage of the publishing, a share of the royalties from the recording, or a combination of those things. They may also require a particular credit or place restrictions on how the sample can be used. There is no standard price for clearing a sample. The cost depends on several factors, including how recognizable the sample is, how much of it you use, how important it is to your song, and how popular the original recording is. Sampling an independent or relatively unknown artist might be affordable. However, sampling a massive hit could cost thousands of dollars or more. The rights holders can also simply say no. Even if you offer to pay, they aren't required to give you permission. That's why it's risky to plan your entire release around a sample before finding out whether you can clear it. If the sample is essential to your track, try to handle the sample clearance before you pay for a music video. Announce a release date, or spend money on promotion. If permission is granted, make sure you get everything in writing. A message from the original artist saying, "Yeah, that's fine," may not be enough, especially if that artist doesn't control the composition or the master. Your agreement should clearly explain what you're allowed to use, how you can use it, what you're paying, how the royalties will be divided, and how the original creator should be credited. Don't release the song based on the assumption that the paperwork will get handled later. Now, let's address one of the biggest misconceptions about sampling: fair use. You may have heard that you can legally sample a song as long as you only use a few seconds. That isn't a rule. There is no universal 5-second, 3-second, or 1-second exception that automatically makes a sample legal. Fair use is decided case by case. Courts can consider why the copyrighted material was used, how much was taken, how transformative the new use is, and whether it affects the market for the original work. Fair use may apply in certain situations involving criticism, commentary, education, or parody. But if you're sampling music for a commercially released song, you shouldn't assume that fair use protects you. Changing the pitch, reversing the audio, or chopping the sample into smaller pieces doesn't automatically remove the need for permission either. If you release an uncleared sample, you can face copyright claims, takedowns, withheld royalties, distribution problems, legal fees, or even a lawsuit. The rights holders might also demand a much larger percentage of your song after it has already been released. At that point, you have much less negotiating power because you've already invested time and money into the release. If clearing the sample is too expensive, the owner says no, or you can't identify the correct rights holders, you still have some alternatives. You can remove the sample and create something original that creates a similar feeling without copying the protected material. You can also properly license a sample from a royalty-free sample library. Just make sure you read the license, because royalty-free samples can still have rules and restrictions. You could also recreate part of the music yourself, which is known as interpolation. This may remove the need to license the original master recording, but you could still need permission to use the underlying composition. Re-recording the sample isn't automatically a way around copyright. The biggest advice is to start early. Sample clearance can take weeks or even months, especially if multiple writers, publishers, labels, or estates are involved. To recap, identify the owners of both the composition and master recording. Contact them with the details of your sample. Negotiate the terms and get everything in writing before releasing the song. Clearing a sample may take some extra work, but it protects your release, respects the creators, and helps prevent a legal problem from appearing just as your song starts gaining attention. If you found this video helpful, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment with another music industry topic you'd like me to break down. And if you need help developing, marketing, or planning the release of your music, schedule a free consultation with DCR using the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.